Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. A warning nice and early, there are going to be spoilers for both Season 1 and Season 2 of Camp Cretaceous throughout basically this entire video, so this is your warning. Click away now if you haven't managed to catch the programme quite yet. So, Camp Cretaceous Season 2 was an enjoyable but wheel-spinning season. The plot really only moved forward on a couple of key points, such as the return of Ben. We have left Season 2 then with more questions than answers, and the mysteries are beginning to pile up a little bit. Tonight we're going to go through the main questions I think Season 3 will attempt to answer, and what those answers may be. This is going to be more of an open discussion video, shall we say. I would love to hear your thoughts down below at the end. Let's get started. The first concerns one of the other plot lines that did move forward in Season 2, and that is the emergency beacon. The kids, after some faffing about, manage to locate the emergency beacon in the Rex nest, and they send out a message, a help message. Now they don't see this, but later on in the episode we learn that the message was received, but we never find out by who. Is it InGen? Is it Masrani? Is it the Coast Guard? Is it Masrani hiring an outside company to manage their emergency services? I can definitely see a world where the message is received, but rather than coming in to rescue the kids, the people on the other end come to, well, silence them. Godfather style, basically. They know a lot at this point, after all. It would also help to keep the kids on the island for a little bit longer. I think they have to address the beacon in Season 3, but they probably have to stay on the island. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Speaking of betrayal, what of Mantacorp? The secretive organisation took a backseat in Season 2. The only new information we really got is that it seems Eddie was working for them, Eddie being the cheeky birthday weirdo that he is. They received the USB data from Sammy in Season 1, but they never got the E750 files from Eddie because he's super duper dead. Tying this in with the previous mystery then, what if Manta intercepts that emergency signal? I don't think they're going to want the kids, and particularly Sammy, getting off the island and telling the world about what they've done. The extortion, the general evilness going on. I expect Manta to become more important in Season 3, as they're clearly interested in E750 who just woke up. And to that point, what is E750? Probably the biggest mystery of Season 2. I did a long video about this a few days ago, so if you do want an in-depth look, and it does go on a bit, go check that video out, give me some money. But it's referred to as a monster by Eddie, and it's clearly a slightly unnatural shape, whatever it is. The theories are wide-ranging from a somewhat ludicrous one like a mammoth to the more likely hybrids, Indoraptor prototypes, and even a Troodon, because there is a new Troodon in the Jurassic World line. It actually looks like the Jurassic Park the game one, it's pretty cool. Some people have said it's not a hybrid because Trevorrow said there's going to be no hybrid, but Trevorrow only said that the Minion is not going to have a hybrid in it. He definitely did not shut down the idea of hybrids ever appearing again in the franchise. That doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. So I'm still very on board the hybrid train. I think that's what E750 is, the name, and we saw those not only because it has a code name of E750 and it's being bred in like a creepy vat in a locked door somewhere, but also because we had those genetic code things, and when Brooklyn was looking at the E750 information, there were several dinosaurs on the screen at the same time. All the signs suggest hybrid. But I don't dislike the Troodon theory, I think that's pretty cool as well. Either way, I think it'll be the main antagonistic dinosaur in Season 3. But it probably won't be alone. Camp Cretaceous has now set up a pretty clear pattern in the first two seasons. There's a big antagonistic dinosaur and there's a little antagonistic dinosaur. It's like Liverpool when we tried to do the big man little man with Luis Suarez and Andy Carroll. In Season 1 we had Indominus Rex and Toro. In Season 2 we had Rexy and the Baryonyx trio. Now other dinosaurs of course pop up now and again, but in both instances those dinosaurs were very much the main focus. Assuming Season 3 follows the same tact, what will those dinosaurs be then? Given the size of E750, I think it'll fit the Baryonyx/Toro role, but that does leave us room for a big boy dinosaur to chase down our gang. One of the theories I like is that it's a Giganotosaurus, since it's been confirmed already to appear in Jurassic World Dominion. Trevorrow has said that Season 3 will have at least some ties in with Dominion, so perhaps an introduction to the new large dinosaur will be one such tie-in. Spinosaurus also a possibility, but we have no confirmation right now there's one alive on Isla Nublar. Not that we do for the Giga either, or that one on Sauna survived. There's a Spinosaurus exhibit knocking around in Jurassic World though, so who knows. I prefer the Giga just because of the Dominion crossover, but I'd also be surprised if the current franchise iteration ends without the Spino making a reappearance somewhere. I do want to go back and focus on those Dominion comments though, because this raises a huge host of mysteries about where Camp Cretaceous is going to go from here. This is what Trevorrow said. I'm not going to do a voice. It's important to me, out of respect for the writers who are continuing to expand and create, to recognise Camp Cretaceous as clearly its own story and its own show. But this season, and if we're granted further opportunities to tell the story that we have, i.e. Season 3, we'll keep weaving into the larger story and really inform some things, even in Dominion, that will connect to discoveries made that I'm really excited about. So there are going to be links, even in Season 2, seemingly we have seen something in Season 2 that will tie in with Camp Cretaceous and Dominion. Now that's unlikely to be E750, given the Dominion comments I mentioned earlier. Is it Mantacorp? I could absolutely see them being present alongside Biosyn, hopefully, in Dominion. Rival corporations creating dinosaurs all around the world, something we know to expect. The Giga is another possibility, perhaps Bumpy, Toro, or the Baryonyx can make a reappearance. Manta would be my bet personally, and I like the idea that Camp Cretaceous is doing some ground-setting world building for the film, considering it is still so far away. But that does raise yet another question. When are the kids going to get off the island? It's kind of important. One of the problems with Dominion links is that, Dominion's over a year away, and B, these Netflix kids shows tend to have a really quick turnaround. We've already seen that with Season 1 and Season 2. We could realistically have 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons of Camp Cretaceous before Dominion comes out. In that time, they've got to get off the island eventually, because they have to before the events of Fallen Kingdom take place. And also because, well, spending 6 seasons on Isla Nublar probably begins to become a little bit boring. Camp Cretaceous makes a lot of money on what I imagine is a relatively low budget now. It is absolutely going to continue, but they're written into a little bit of a corner right now. They can't move to the mainland before that happens in Dominion, realistically, I would expect. So even if the series carries on there afterwards, that's 18 months away. So what did they do in the meantime? How did they keep the series interesting and keep the children trapped for potentially a year and a half still? Perhaps controversial, but hear me out, Isla Sauna. I know technically Isla Sauna is a dead zone, inverted commas, and it's something that the Jurassic World films have desperately tried to ignore at this point. If there's one thing we know about Colin Trevorrow though, regardless of how you feel about the films, is that he really does want to try and make the fans happy. It's very clearly important to him. The writing off of Isla Sauna by the DPG was, from my perspective, a pretty cheaply written attempt to remove it from our collective memories so we don't ask questions about the plot of Fallen Kingdom, i.e. why wouldn't they just move the dinosaurs to Isla Sauna, which would seem to be the obvious answer. I don't think many of us are happy that Isla Sauna has been left to rot, really. Maybe you're one of the exceptions. Please let me know, I'd be really curious as to why. But I think for most of us, we really liked Isla Sauna. We spent 2 whole films there, and we're a little sad that it's been entirely neglected. So why not tweak the canon just a little bit? The only people who know Sauna is a dead zone are those who read the DPG website, after all. That is a tiny percentage of Jurassic World's viewer base. Moving the kids to Sauna in Season 4 or 5 would give the show a huge boost in variety and potential storylines, all whilst keeping them trapped on an island for a while, which is really handy for just maintaining a nice slow canon. It wouldn't be difficult to make happen either. All it takes is a rogue storm occurring when they're eventually trying to evacuate Isla Nublar. All you have to do is rewrite Sauna so a few dinosaurs survived. This would be the perfect time to bring back the Spinosaurus, and maybe unveil some new mysteries about it that we're unaware of. Suddenly, no more problems about the canon, we get to see the best island again. Do it for the fans, Trevorrow. Make it happen. Tying into this, Sauna is a great answer to one of the main mysteries of the programme and where it's going to go, and that is what's going to happen to Bumpy. I don't see a world, personally, where Bumpy is left to burn alive on Isla Nublar. That seems really dark and unlikely to happen for a kids show. I would consider it a very brave move, but it seems unlikely. It also seems unlikely that Bumpy ends up saved by the DPG/Mills group in Fallen Kingdom, so Bumpy needs to get off the island somehow in Camp Cretaceous. There are 2 main options then. My aforementioned Sauna idea, having Ben say goodbye to Bumpy in this big sad dramatic moment that Anki can go off and graze and explore, perhaps even bond with a few surviving Ankylosauruses because we know they're there on Isla Sauna. Basically, if you imagine a scene from Pokemon where Ash, says goodbye to his Butterfree, and Butterfree flies off with the other Butterfrees. Same rough idea. He tries to do it with the Pikachu as well, but then Pikachu came back. Same basic idea. You could even have Bumpy come back, because Bumpy loves Ben. He doesn't want to be a wild Ankylosaurus. The point is, it would be a good plotline. The only other alternative I can really see is that Bumpy ends up on the mainland. I can see Camp Cretaceous getting a second version eventually, a new name but the same people, and taking place on a mainland filled with dinosaurs in the wake of Dominion. And that is a world Bumpy could absolutely live in, and I don't think dinosaur pets are going to be outside of that reality. There's also some pretty obvious comedy to be mined from having Ben and his parents living with a full-grown Ankylosaurus in the suburbs of Massachusetts, I don't know. Either way, our favourite blue and yellow beastie has to escape and live somehow, and Camp Cretaceous is probably going to have to solve that mystery in the next couple of seasons. I ended up taking this video on a little bit of a tangent with my theories, I won't lie, but there are some smaller mysteries that do still need to be answered. Is Hap dead, for example? The sound effects were less grotesque at his death, and he's a tough SOB. It wouldn't surprise me if he pulled off a Billy. And what's going to happen to Sammy anyway? Has she given Manta enough information for them to leave her family and her alone now? I kinda doubt it, especially that she has this information, she knows what they've done. And how are they going to get off the island anyway? And where are the counsellors? They're likely off still being useless somewhere, but I think they may make a reappearance in Season 3. The show always needs new human characters, and there's only so many ways you can introduce new humans to this kind of scenario. Also, just something I slightly picked up on. Why did Hap react so weirdly to the keycard that Brooklyn had? It was a curious reaction. Also, what else is that keycard going to open? It seems like a big deal. I think that may pop up again as well. Brooklyn remarks when she opens the garage, you know, it can open the garage, maybe it can open everything on the island, and that didn't really get addressed again, so who knows what it'll open. We have more questions than answers right now. Season 2 really didn't give us many answers at all. For me, the most compelling is still E750 and what exactly is lurking in that vat. But I am immensely curious as well how the interweaving canons are going to coalesce together as well. It seems like a pretty difficult juggling act, but at least Trevorrow is involved in both the film and TV productions, and hopefully that means we end up with something coherent at the end. Anyway, that's all from me. Do you have any alternate theories for these mysteries? Ooh. Spooky. Are there any other mysteries Camp Cretaceous has raised that you'd like to see answered? Let me know in the comment section down below. Throw me a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers much love as always. Bye bye.